We're coming to you live from Auckland Park in Johannesburg. My name is Mbalenhle Mthethwa, and thank you so much for tuning into SABC News at this hour. And we continue with rolling coverage of the 2024 national elections. And let's start off here. And we are now joined by our SABC News reporter, Mbalenhle Mthethwa. She is at the Rock in Alberton to give us some perspective there when it comes to some of the results coming out in Gauteng. It's quite clear, Mbalenhle, that it seems as if there's no clear majority coming out from Gauteng at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. And with 75% of the votes already being counted and audited, it would seem as though the highest number of votes go to the ANC at 35.66%. And just a little bit earlier on, they were sitting at just 33%. And this is a slight increase, really, in the past few hours. The Democratic Alliance was sitting at around 29% and is now sitting at a little over 27%. And this is also just a slight decline, 12% for the EFF in the third position, retaining that third position in the last couple of hours as the vote counting continues. Earlier on, we spoke to an IFP representative who said that they are not concerned by the numbers that they're seeing at the moment, given that some of their strongholds had not yet been counted, and they mentioned that townships in parts of Gauteng had not been counted, and this could change the picture. I mean, right now we're waiting for those the remaining 25% of votes to be counted in order to see a clearer picture of what is then going to happen in Gauteng, and if we're going to see a coalition emerging, and which coalition will that be? Will it be the multi-party coalition that has been something that has been spoken of at length by the Democratic Alliance with other potential coalition partners, or will we see rumors that, the reality of the rumors, or rather the rumors coming to life of a potential ANC EFF coalition taking over the province, the Gauteng province. But, you know, party officials have been here watching the scoreboard and really just watching with bated breath to see which party is emerging victorious and what indeed is and how their parties are performing. And right now, I'm actually joined by one of the very few remaining party representatives here from the NFP, Mbalenhle Mthethwa. Thank you so much for the time that you've given us to speak to us. Do you believe that the NFP would be performing a lot better if the party had not lost its founder, uMamukama Msibi?
Ngiyabonga kakhulu ukuthola ithuba umama ke ubuselaphi weqembu le-NFP National Freedom Party. Ngifisa nje ukusho ukuthi na ngempela ukuba usakhona umama belizoperforma kahle kakhulu iqembu le-NFP. Kodwa namanje futhi azekho ikhalazo enginazo. Ngijabule kakhulu ngama results esinawo ngoba besingenazo insiza lisizo ngenxa yesimo sokuthi na kwayisisa kwakunenkinga zangaphakathi.
Thank you so much. There you have it. That is a representative from the NFP saying that they are at least satisfied and happy with how the party is performing. They do not have much of a stronghold in Gauteng, performing at just below 1% at the moment. But they are attributing this to, you know, a lack of funding and not being able to campaign as well as they should have or could have. And also, you know, the death of the founder of the passing rather of the founder of the NFP also maybe having an impact on their performance. But I think what's more important right now is to speak to the IEC to find out about, you know, some of the delays. As we know, we were anticipating that the results would have been out and or rather conclude the vote counting would have been concluded in the Gauteng province. But this has not happened as we continue to wait for those those 25%, the remaining 25%. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Talk to us about what is happening, and is there a delay, and what is the delay, and when can we expect to see the conclusion of vote counting in the province?
We do not think there's a delay per se. As you know, Gauteng is the biggest voting bloc with 6.5 million registered voters. So we think this is normal. Where we are now is that we are at 84% in terms of capturing of the results, and we are waiting for a few to be concluded in the metros, the 3 metros, and some of the bigger municipalities like Mbalenhle City and Mbalenhle. We are waiting for 200 actual voting stations to conclude capturing. As we know, capturing is just capturing. After that, then there should be processing of the results, such as auditing and scanning and resolution of exceptions. And once that has been concluded, then we can see the final results reflecting on the board. As we speak now, the municipalities of Midval and Lesedi have completed the result process, so the results are final in those 2 municipalities.
Now, I'd like to apologize to the viewers about the disparities of the numbers. I mean, I said 75% have been counted, but you're saying it's over 80%, and this is in part due to the fact that it seems as though there's a delay with regards to updates on the official IEC website and maybe your capturing system. Obviously, then that means the numbers are quite different. But when can we expect the counting process to be concluded and the final results in Gauteng to be announced?
The counting process is concluded. What we are doing now is capturing the results as they appear on the results slips. Our aim is to have all these results concluded in terms of them being final by early hours of the morning, if not mid-morning tomorrow.
Thank you so much for your time. There you have it. The results for Gauteng could be in by the early hours of this morning or mid-morning tomorrow. For now, it is back to you in studio.
And Mbali, before I let you go, and I mean, you are somebody who covers a lot of politics, especially in our municipalities in Gauteng, and talking about, the coalitions that we may find ourselves in here in the province, and looking at the relationships that already exist between the ANC as well as some of the smaller parties, including the EFF, as well as, the Patriotic Alliance. What is the likelihood that we can see these parties find each other now at a provincial level, because we've seen them in the city of Johannesburg as well as in the city of Ekurhuleni?
Well, I'm glad that you've brought that up, because earlier on I had a conversation with an ATM candidate or representative who is also a member of council in the city of Ekurhuleni, and even though they did not express this on air, they did say that the outcome of these elections could essentially change the composition of the coalition agreements that now exist in both the city of Johannesburg and the city of Ekurhuleni. We both know that there have been minority party candidates that have emerged as mayors in these 2 or 3 municipalities, if we include Mbalenhle City. However, the outcome of these elections could reopen those talks between the coalition partners in not only in Ekurhuleni but in all the 3 municipalities where the ANC and the EFF have met each other. Now, you will remember that in the city of Johannesburg, the relationship between the Democratic Alliance and the Patriotic Alliance was irreparably broken down when the Patriotic Alliance crossed the floor and formed part of a coalition with the ANC and the EFF in the city of Johannesburg. And this is a decision decision that led the decision to leave the multi-party coalition in the city of Johannesburg led to the Democratic Alliance refusing to ever work with the Patriotic Alliance. And again, we spoke briefly during the last-minute rally last week that was held by the Democratic Alliance in Soweto to the DA Federal Chairperson, Helen Zille, who said that working with the EFF was a big mistake. And we will know that the former mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Dr. Mpho Phalatse, had suggested and had tried to convince the DA Federal Chair to consider working again with the EFF. However, the Democratic Alliance has always said that they have ideological differences and therefore cannot consider working together with the EFF. We know that the Ekurhuleni the coalition in Ekurhuleni has been quite turbulent, with both the ANC and the EFF speaking past each other and to a certain point coming to blows inside council. And yet again, we saw the same MMCs returning when an ANC candidate in the form of Dr. Nkosindiphile Xhakaza being elected unopposed in council. So it is going to be quite interesting to see if those relationships will be maintained at provincial level. The AIC Sivuyile Ngotwana was present here earlier. Unfortunately, we didn't get an opportunity to find out from them if they would continue working with the ANC or the EFF, given that you will remember that the AIC has worked with the ANC or been in coalition with the ANC for 2 terms now. And, they have a long-standing relationship with them. And he was ousted with the help of some ANC candidates or councillors in the city of Ekurhuleni who broke rank after they had been instructed or issued an instruction to abstain from the vote of no confidence against the former mayor. So it will be interesting to see, but it seems as though smaller parties are walking on eggshells because they do not want to sully the relationship between themselves and the ANC. They do not want to then find themselves in a position where they are not considered or do not form part of any coalition. But at the end of the day, you know that with these negotiations, positions are very important, where we saw in the city of Ekurhuleni, the Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi announcing and speaking to us in an interview saying that the portfolio for the MMC for finance is going to be reserved for the EFF, despite having seen the city of Ekurhuleni's audit opinion slightly declining under the leadership of that particular MMC. And also in the city of Johannesburg, we saw a split in the number of positions, or the MMC positions that are then put there. But there have been challenges in terms of ensuring that there is accountability among those who hold those positions, given that they all come from different political parties with different ideologies. And when there are differences, the argument that is always referred to is that while we are in a coalition and in a relationship together, we have not merged and become one party. We remain individual parties, and therefore will hold different views and will definitely speak sometimes past each other in the media space. But for now, though, it is back to you in studio.
All right, Mbali, thank you so much for that comprehensive update. That is our reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa coming to us live there from Alberton and giving us an update there. Of course, course, very interesting how those coalition talks will take place, especially because of the existing relationships that we already have there in some of the municipalities in Gauteng.